2025 just said hold my ale to every RPG game that came before. We've got 5 absolute juggernauts throwing hands for Game of the Year, and this isn't your usual popularity contest. These games earned their spot. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Contender number 1, Monster Hunter Wilds. With a Metacritic score of 88, peak player count of 1.3 million, and sales of over 10 million units, this is a real contender. Monster Hunter Wilds isn't just the latest entry, it's the biggest evolution the series has seen since Capcom tossed out their rigid zone-based maps in favour of one open, sprawling, seamless biome with dynamic weather systems that directly impact monster behaviour and quest flow. And for the first time, mounts have real utility. They can join fights and even gather materials mid-combat. Also, the game's improved onboarding finally makes the deep crafting and armor systems digestible for new players, which is a big reason for its mainstream success. The combat remains brutally satisfying. Every hunt feels like a mini raid boss. Monsters fight with intelligence, escaping mid-fight and then setting ambushes. They even fight with each other when they cross paths. The co-op system has been streamlined too. It now lets solo players call for help mid-hunt, and the community answered hard, with Reddit full of stories of last-minute saves by randoms. Why it's a hit? Capcom struck gold with this formula. Deep systems, rewarding grind, community-focused multiplayer, and jaw-dropping art direction. Wilds is the rare game that satisfies both the hardcore and the casual crowd. Here's a fun fact. If you wear full gear from the insect-based monster Thrazak, your idle animations change to include bug-like antenna switches. This is a nod to Starship Troopers. Contender number 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. With a Metacritic score of 88, a peak player count of 260,000 concurrent players, and sales of over 3 million units. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 isn't just a sequel, it's Warhorse Studios doubling down on what made the first game legendary. You are back, but this time with fully voiced choices, a world twice as large, and NPCs that live 24/7 lives regardless of you. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 throws you into 15th century Holy Roman Empire with no fantasy handholding. You'll eat, you'll sleep, bathe and bleed like a real peasant trying to claw his way to knighthood. For me, why this game is a hit is that in an era of magic spells and space fantasy clones, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a refreshing return to the dirt under your nails RPG design. It makes you feel like you earned every jewel, every coin, and every scrap of respect. Here's a fun fact. There's a hidden monk robe under the monastery that triggers a rare side quest. A rare 12-minute Latin-chanted cutscene, fully voiced and historically accurate. It's easily missable but considered a masterpiece by lore nerds like me. Contender number 3, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The highest rated game on this list with a Metacritic score of 92, a peak player count of 145,000, and sales of 2 million units and counting. Clair Obscur is the sleeper hit that blindsided the industry. Developed by circa 38 people at Sandfall Interactive, Clair Obscur is a turn-based RPG drenched in surreal French art. The world is set in a dreamlike, ruined version of Belle Epoque Paris, where every year the paintress kills a random number, and everyone of that age dies. You are part of Expedition 33, the unlucky age marked for extinction. Gameplay blends Persona-style turn-based combat with Shadow of the Colossus level boss design. Enemies are grotesque, dreamlike, and emotionally symbolic. Even the UI is painted into existence mid-battle. Players have praised this game's bold storytelling, powerful themes of grief, and the way your character, Luna, seems to reflect the player's choices in subtle environmental changes. Why this game is a hit? It just dares to be different. It tells a deeply personal story in a genre bloated with sword and sorcery tropes. Players have said this hits like Disco Asylum with Nier Automata's punch, and that is high praise. Here's a fun fact. Luna's animations were hand rotoscoped by an ex-Disney animator using real dance footage, giving her ethereal movement that subtly shifts as the story progresses. Contender number 3, Oblivion Remastered. A Metacritic score of 82, a peak player count of 216,000, and sales of 4 million plus in just 7 days. So, it was a risky move remastering a classic like Oblivion, but Bethesda and Virtuos Studios pulled it off. This game now runs in 4K with dynamic lighting, revamped dungeons, and smoother combat animations. That being said, it keeps the jank just enough to feel nostalgic. Something I love is that all DLC is included, it's all bundled in, and there's a new immersion mode that removes all of the quest markers and restores the game's intended exploration-heavy purpose. As soon as I turned it on and stepped out of the sewers, I knew this was a hit. It's comfort food for the soul. A new generation got to play it with fresh eyes, while the veterans relived their youth with modern polish. It's the Skyrim break people didn't know they needed. Fun fact, the infamous Adoring Fan NPC now has a full-voiced questline. If you keep him alive until the end, he becomes the game's final narrator. Only 4% of players at this point have unlocked it. Contender number 5, Split Fiction. Metacritic score of 91, a peak player count of 259,000, and sales of 3 million units in 3 weeks. Hazelight came back swinging. After It Takes Two, expectations were very high for this one, and Split Fiction doubled them. You and a partner play as 2 siblings trapped inside a fractured fictional universe where every world is a discarded story, noir detective novels, pirate adventures, and even post-apocalyptic anime-inspired wastelands. It's co-op narrative chaos, but executed with absurd brilliance. What makes it pop isn't just the gameplay, it's the writing. The dialogue is razor sharp, switching tones seamlessly depending on which world you're in. One level has you solving a murder mystery in split screen real time, the next you're playing a rhythm-based boss battle against the jazz god. So there's no doubt in my mind why this is a hit. There's nothing else quite like it. Every level is a new mechanic. Every moment feels handcrafted, and you can play the whole thing in one purchase thanks to a friend pass. It's a love letter to co-op gaming, and fans love it back. Lastly, a fun fact. So there's a hidden scene where both characters quote real lines from Pulp Fiction, but only if you both choose the exact same dialogue at the specific moment in the sci-fi chapter. Quentin Tarantino actually personally signed off on this reference himself. So there you have it, 5 titans, 5 worlds, and they're going toe-to-toe for Game of the Year 2025. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and that's ATK out.